My probation officer asked me to show her some evidence that I'm famous, and I wanted to go through this again. So when I was a little kid playing junior golf, I played tricks and extra spin golf balls every time. Like the only golf ball I would hit in golf tournaments was tricks and extra spin. I was in junior golf. That means I was under 12. That means it was prior to 1997. So I looked up extra spin golf balls, and Trixon, the company, didn't exist at all until 2001. Wilson Fat Staffs, like the drivers and stuff, didn't exist until like 2000 and stuff. I remember going and trying out the driver, and I tried out the biggest Big Bertha and stuff like that. Tensor trucks did not exist until 2000, and my second skateboard had tensor trucks, and it was an ATM blank deck that I think they still sell to this day. And someone told me about the tensor trucks at the skate park in Monument before I bought the tensor trucks, and they showed me the ones with the plastic on the outside that help you with nose slides and stuff like that. So my girlfriend, her favorite song was Linkin Park in the End in the 90s. And that was like in 8th grade or whatever. She was a 7th grader. And that song didn't exist until like late 2000 at least. Shaggy Angel was my favorite song as a very, very, very small child. I used to walk back and forth. It was the first song I ever got tired of. I thought that Shaggy's song Angel was for little kids when I moved to Colorado, so I didn't listen to it anymore. Turns out that song came out in 2002, so there's no way it was for little kids. I used to watch cartoons every day, but what I really wanted to go to is, like, my brother's not even my brother. Like, he got switched out. He, like, is in charge of my family's money. Last I saw, like, my parents were bringing in, like, $375,000 a year. So, like, he won't, like, he's not answering my calls. Like, it's been 3 days, he hasn't answered my calls. He didn't know what the PT500 was. Like, our entire childhood, like, revolved around the PT500. We manufactured them in the garage. He's not my brother. My mom used to play piano every day, and the bird used to sing what she played, which was Beauty and the Beast, Tale as Old as Time. Now my mom can't play piano. My dad, I know it's like terrible when I say like all three of them got switched out. My dad hates meatloaf passionately. He hates it more than anything in the world. Or that's what he said, like, because we were talking about meatloaf at Colorado Mountain Brewery. He's like, there's nothing more disgusting than meatloaf. That's the most disgusting thing in the world. But we used to eat meatloaf every single day when I was growing up as a child. So, like, my dad, my brother, and my mom, all three, and then my sister in Egypt, I met my actual sister, and she told me she was my sister in Spanish, and she ended up getting murdered in Lebanon. And and so there's this random girl in Egypt that tells me that she's my sister. She's trying to explain to me, you're my brother. So, like, I don't think my sister's even my sister. So, like, all four of my family members got switched out with other people. But just go try, like. So I also had a driver that I've described the shaft very specifically from Golfsmith. That's a bubble shaft. And, like, that was when I was like a little kid. That was like a shortened club. And, like, all my clubs were very short back then. And I looked it up, and TaylorMade didn't make bubble shafts at all until 1995. So, like, when I was 10, TaylorMade came out with bubble shafts. But Golfsmith wouldn't have come out with it until later, because they have to, like, design it and plan it, and they have to make the club. And so, like, that's my only small golf club. Like, I bought the movie Turtle's Tail, and I supposedly was born in 1985. Dude, my brother does not know what the PT500 is. I walked up to him. He was in my living room in San Antonio, and I said, "Hey, you know the PT500, right?" He's like, "What?" And I was like, "The PT500." He's like, "I don't know what that is. I don't know." And I was like, "Oh, you're not him. You're not my brother. You got switched out with someone else, because that's exactly how you test that guy." And so he's not my brother. Like, that guy is like the most mean person I've ever met. And now he's not answering my phone calls. And, like, I have to have gas to go to probation. I have to have gas to go get a public defender. Like, and so, like, I have to make sure I can get gas right now. Like, I know he's not going to give me food, but, like, he's supposed to pay some bills. Like I said, like, my dad hates meatloaf. Like, my dad that just died. Like, he's like, "I would never eat meatloaf. That's the most disgusting thing I've ever heard of in my life. I can't believe you eat meatloaf." To me, because I ordered meatloaf at Colorado Mountain Brewery. But, like, when I was a kid, like, all we ever ate was meatloaf. Like, "What are we eating today, Mom?" "Meatloaf." Or, like, ham, or I would be disappointed if she wants microwave chicken. She'd make microwave style chicken. Disgusting. And she'd make spaghetti. And, yeah. and she'd make pot roast, and she'd make chicken fried steak. So this girl is famous because she's Epstein's sex trafficking victim, and she's got this cockatiel. And I had that bird, and like I said, my mom used to play piano, and the bird would sing the song. Like bird would sing Pretty Bird, and then it would also sing Tale as Old as Time by Beauty and the Beast. So here you can see that I had -1 listens on SoundCloud, and that was a very, very long time ago, back when I was VNOX 7. So I was being censored when I was VNOX 7. Like I found out I was famous when I was VNOX 7 by traveling around the United States, like meeting random people, and it turns out that they listen to my music because I had already gotten a little famous. Now, like all these girls are doing Christmas pictures, and it's because I am more famous. Like I am very, very famous right now, and everyone's acting like they don't know I'm famous, and I think that scares people because you're making people homeless by faking like you don't know who they are. But then the last topic I want to talk about is this twin-size bed. So when I was a sophomore in college, I thought I was full grown, and I thought my girlfriend was full grown. And I used to stay at her house like always for like almost the entire year. And like when I'd stay at her place, she had a twin-size bed, and we slept on the twin-size bed together. She was on birth control, but we still use condoms. And like we had sex on the twin-size bed. Like we had oral sex on the twin-size bed. Like we did it all over the twin-size bed. Somehow we fit on the twin-size bed. And like I'm 6 foot tall, 230 pounds. Like if you were to say, well, no, you were only like 19 back then, you're probably only 205. It's still pretty hard to fit on the bed. And so like that girl started looking that different after I got older, and like I was convinced that I had some sort of like dysmorphism about her. Like I was like hallucinating when I looked at her, like because I know she's so freaking pretty. I thought there was something wrong with me, and I think it's because they're switching out twins, because they will switch out twins. Like clearly, like there are twins out there, and they're cloning people. That's the pitching machine I had in the 90s. Like all my entire life, we had that pitching machine. Like I've looked at the dial, it's the exact same one. It has that little thing so you can roll it. I don't know what year it is to this date. Like I don't know the year on my Channel 1 skateboard. Like I don't know the year on a lot of things, but I do know the year on Friction Extra Spin and the Tensor trucks. And I do know that my bubble shaft, there's no freaking way. And so I know that my dad hates meatloaf. Like you don't understand, like he started ranting about meatloaf, and I was like, you hate meatloaf? All we do is eat meatloaf. Like, how do you hate meatloaf? Like, this is the craziest thing I've ever experienced. Like, my brother, like, I had to catch him. Like, I knew he wasn't my brother. Like, it was obvious. And that guy's a shark. Like, that dude is, like, he stole my family's money. Like, last I checked, my family was bringing in, like, almost 400 grand a year. And that guy took over all the money. He won't give me a dime. Like, I mean, come on here.